We all have that one book that flips a creative switch. Maybe unlocked something in you, changed the way you work, helped you look at things like nothing else did. It's the book you wished you found sooner because of the impact it made, the one you wish someone had shared with you, and the one you now want to share with everyone. But what if it wasn't just one book? What if there were 10? 10 books that made a real impact. Game-changing tools, packed with information that reshaped how you think, how you build, and how you create. I'm Dave with 99 Creative Designs, and these are the 10 books that changed the game for me. And make sure to stick around for the one that I avoided reading. It's now the one book I recommend to everyone. So let's get into it. At number 10, the book is Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. This book helped me let go of the myth that to be creative, you have to be totally original. It's not as if somebody is handing out awards for inventing something from scratch. Kleon puts it perfectly when he says nothing is completely original. Everything is a remix. And once I really understood that, I stopped trying to be 100% original and started collecting creative sparks instead. Things like old album covers or vintage signs, audio samples, weird little ideas that I would gather, and I started remixing them into my own stuff. Pressure dropped. I wasn't chasing perfect. I was making things. The book itself is short, it's an easy read, and it's real. It doesn't waste your time. You start building your own creative system if you apply the principles in this book. And here's the thing. The book isn't just for creatives or designers or artists. It's for anyone who wants to create more and judge themselves less. Number 9 is The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. This book is a gut punch in the best possible way. Pressfield doesn't sugarcoat it. He names the real enemy of creativity: resistance. It's not your gear, it's not your equipment, it's not your schedule, it's not your lack of talent. It's that quiet voice in your head that whispers, "I'll get to it tomorrow." He writes, "Resistance will tell you anything to keep you from doing your work." That hit hard. So I stopped waiting to feel ready, stopped the over-preparing, stopped chasing motivation, and I started showing up and treated it like it was my job. Creative time went on the calendar. And even when I didn't feel like it, especially when I didn't feel like it, I sat down and I did the work. And that's when the breakthroughs came. Number 8 is The Art of Learning by Josh Waitzkin. Although Josh was an expert at both, Waitzkin didn't just master chess or martial arts. He mastered learning itself. And what he teaches in this book flipped how I think about growth. It's not about speed, it's not about hacks or powering through. Sometimes it's about depth, about slowing down, internalizing the fundamentals, and finding these weird, powerful connections between disciplines. Chess and Tai Chi don't seem related at first, but Waitzkin found what he called the through line, the common thread. That idea stuck with me. Now I don't just aim to finish a track or complete a project. I want to understand it. The book reminded me, real transformation doesn't happen at the surface. It happens when you go deep. Number 7 is The Practice by Seth Godin. This book challenged something I didn't even realize I was stuck on. It was the idea that you need permission to be creative, that someone else needs to approve you or validate you or crown you ready. Godin blows that idea up. He says, the work is our voice, our chance to be generous, to matter. And when I read that, I stopped over-polishing everything, stopped tweaking designs until they were perfect, and I started shipping my work, letting it live out in the world, even if I still had doubts. Because confidence doesn't come before you share. It shows up after. And here's the wild part. The more I released, the more creative I became. Not because I had better ideas, because I got out of my own way. Creativity isn't about waiting. It's about committing, doing the work, and having the guts to let it go. That's how you build momentum. That's how you build a body of work. At number 6, Every Tool is a Hammer by Adam Savage. Now, you probably know Adam Savage from Mythbusters, the TV show, but he's also one of the most passionate, obsessive, and honest voices in the maker world. This book isn't just about creativity. It's about what it means to make stuff for real. One idea that stuck with me: increase your lose tolerance. What he means is stop expecting perfection. Plans are going to fall apart. Measurements are wrong. Things go sideways. I remember the first time I used my 3D printer. I had no idea what I was doing, and I thought I'd be making something slick and amazing that had never been created before, but halfway through it turned into spaghetti. The print failed and everything jammed, and my measurements were completely off. It looked like a melted prop from Aliens. But here's the thing. I learned more from that failure than from any successful print that I'd done since. Savage talks about building with what you have right now. Don't wait for the right tool. Don't save up for that piece that you haven't gotten yet. Don't wait for the perfect setup. Start with what you have, break it, and fix it, and document everything. After I read this book, I felt like it really gave me permission to follow my curiosity, including all the mess associated. It was a reminder that progress often looks like chaos until it doesn't. Number 5 is The Music Lesson by Victor Wooten. So this book completely caught me off guard. For those who don't know, Victor Wooten is one of the greatest bass players alive. So I expected technique, tips, maybe even a practice routine. But instead, I got a story. Wooten talks about a mythical journey where a young student goes to a teacher who shows up out of nowhere to shift how he sees music and how he sees himself. And that's really what made this book so interesting. It's not a how-to. It was kind of a wake-up call. The lesson that hit me the hardest is that music is already happening even in silence. The principle is you don't really make music, you join it. And that changed my perspective quite a bit. Now when I sit down, I don't try to force it. I try to listen first. Try to feel what's already there. This goes beyond just music. The book reminded me that creativity isn't just about doing, it's about being in the moment. And sometimes the most important note is the space between the notes. Number 4 is The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. This book handed me one of the most powerful creative habits I've ever picked up, and that's morning pages. 3 pages, handwritten, every morning. No filter, no structure, just dump whatever's in your head onto the pages of a journal. It's a brain drain. And at first, it felt silly, but after a week, something shifted. I started clearing out all the mental noise, all the distractions and doubts, and made space for real ideas to show up. I wasn't blocked anymore. I was just cluttered, and this was a way of uncluttering. This book isn't just for artists. It's for anyone trying to reconnect with their creative self, the part of you that gets buried under productivity, perfection, and pressure. It's honest, it's practical, and it reminded me that creativity isn't something you chase, it's something you clear space for, and you work at it daily. And number 3, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. This book didn't make me rethink work. It made me rethink time. Ferriss writes, being busy is a form of laziness. What he means is lazy thinking and indiscriminate action. That line punched me in the chest. I realized I'd been filling my schedule, but avoiding the real work, saying yes to everything, but making space for nothing important. So I took inventory. I cut out the noise, I automated what I could, and I got ruthless about protecting time to think, to experiment, to build, and to be creative. This book isn't about escaping your job or retiring early, and it certainly isn't saying that you only have to work 4 hours a week. It's about designing a system that supports your best work, the kind of work that feels energizing, not draining, intentional, not reactive, and most importantly, gives you the room for creativity to focus your energy where it should be. The 4-Hour Workweek gave me permission to step off the treadmill and design a creative life that worked. Now we're getting down to the last 2, and it was a bit of a battle for the top slot. But coming in at number 2, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. This is the one that I almost skipped, and I assumed to be too abstract, too zen, too soft, too out there. But it ended up becoming one of the books that I recommend the most. It reminded me that creativity isn't about control, it's about awareness, presence, openness. Rubin writes, the work doesn't come from you, it comes through you. And that line kind of stopped me cold. I used to chase ideas, I used to force them or push through them, overwork them. But this book cracks something open. Now instead of noise, stillness becomes part of my process. Stillness becomes part of my workflow. It's less about doing and more about listening. This isn't a how-to manual. There's no formula in these pages. It's more like sitting across from a quiet teacher who reminds you you're already the artist. You just need to tune in. And the number 1 book for me was Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book didn't just inspire me, it gave me a system that I use every single day. Clear says you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. That flipped a switch. I stopped chasing motivation and started building habits I could count on. Habits that run in the background even on the tough days. One of the biggest takeaways, the idea of getting just 1% better every day. Small changes and tiny wins stack up, and they stack up fast. You don't need massive breakthroughs. You just need momentum. One of my favorite tricks out of the book is habit stacking. Pair something new with something that you already do, like listening to audiobooks on walks or journaling right after coffee. It's simple, it's consistent, and over time it changes everything. Atomic Habits didn't just reshape how I work. It redefined how I approach growth and creativity. So there you go. 10 books that genuinely unlocked my creativity. Each one showed me a different way to think, to build, and to keep going, especially when things got messy. But I'm just one voice. I want to know what lit the spark for you. What book changed the way you create? What are some of the key principles that you got out of those books? Because the best recommendations come from conversations. Thanks for being a part of mine. I'll see you in the next one.